Zingtanica Season 2. At the time of recording this, Zingtanica Season 2 came out about a week ago. Well, finished. And I decided that I'm gonna review it. And it was really good. To start off, Season 1 was already really solid. So I knew that Season 2 was probably gonna follow the same vein. But oh my goodness! The amount of stuff that they added to this universe and just its characters is incredible. Now, coming into Zingtanica Season 2, we already knew like 3 out of the 4 characters that were going to be featured, besides Nevermore, but then I guess technically Merc and Bolt had kind of really small roles in the previous season, so didn't really do much. Besides Callista. Callista's the only one that actually had a big focus. But yeah, like, Season 2 had quite a bit of characters we already knew before, so they didn't have to fully introduce them, but they still kind of did introduce them, just so we can expand more on these characters. Well, that's all I have to say, so let's get into it. Starting with... Let's start off with the Merc episode, because it's, you know, the first episode of the season. Now, this episode kind of starts off with a callback to the very first season, which I really like, just because the original Zingtanica started with Valor episode, with Valor being in the city, and now it's starting with Merc being in the city, which is quite cool. And what is this episode about? Well, basically, overall, just Merc is being jealous about Valor. That's kind of like the whole arc. Like, literally, his entire arc is that he's jealous of Valor, and he thinks the absolute best. Even though he's not the best. I mean, he's cool and all, but he's not the best. And in this episode, we get introduced to Galvanza, which is basically the rookie title kind of thing. Basically, he's supposed to be partnering up with Merc to help protect the city and whatnot. But no, Merc is like a complete jerk. And like, they both constantly just praise Valor, because they both really like Valor. But, oh my goodness, Merc is just such a jerk, like, it's insane. Anyways, this is a pretty, like, standard, first episode for a season. Kind of like saying the ground basis for everything. There's a bit of an invasion with some of these, creatures, things, and I found that, like, a really interesting fight. Because it's not, like, a super big scale fight, but it is a fight. But, oh my goodness, Merc was insufferable. He kept saying, no, only my ideas, until he learns that his ideas aren't always the best, and he has to get ideas from others. So he learns that learning ideas from others are very important. And apparently Galvanza just wanted to meet Valor. Like, seriously, like, in the end, it was just like, oh, that's cool. Anyways, do you know where Valor is? Yeah, no, he didn't really care about Merc either. But still. Yeah, overall, the Merc episode, not too much happened, but it was a really good introduction episode. But Merc was... I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Merc. I know that's his character and stuff, but come on now, Merc. Also, wait, is Valor propaganda? Now we're on to the Callista episode. And oh my goodness, this was an absolutely amazing episode. Callista absolutely oh. Wait, people don't want me using that word anymore? Fine. Okay, so Callista was being so smart, researching everything, and also it's revealed that Callista is a great protector. But basically, we already knew that. But also, you know, Callista is kind of supposed to do that, because if you're a protector of Terrano, you're supposed to do your job. But yeah, basically, there's like some attack in the village area. Callista comes in and saves the day and stuff. And she is an Ice Queen. And then, we get introduced to a new character named Vulcan, and okay, just go ignore. Yeah, so we get introduced to Vulcan, and he is a really cool character. Just really cool design overall, and just, like, a nice addition. And also he has, like, a really good British accent, which I find really funny. But no, basically, he's just here to help. And instead of, you know, Callista being like Merc, Callista's actually like, yeah, you can help. Instead of Merc being like, no, I don't want your help. Help is bad. I'm the best person in the entire world. But, you know, Callista is an actual, you know, kind person. Is like, yeah, we can all help. Which, by the way, they started talking about the monarchy and stuff, because Terrano was originally a monarchy. And the amount of detail that they go into the monarchy is kind of insane. Like, yes, I mean, like, monarchy and stuff, history and stuff, it feels like there's an underlying tone about this monarchy. And then they like go into this thing and start invading because they have to go get something. But what I find really funny is just kind of the iceness of it and be like, don't worry, we got this from here. Bro, guys, like, you didn't do any of the work. Callista just froze the Stikbot, and you're saying that, they can do what they want. But then it's revealed that the old ruler that got overthrown is revealed to be Callista's brother, named Jasper. Wait, Jasper? That doesn't look like Jasper. Well, Callista and Jasper both want this, the crystal soul thing, which, conveniently at the time that Jasper is about to take it, Callista shows up, which I think is funny. And then they start fighting for it, which, it's good that Callista's, ice powers work in a very hot area. She's just so good. But luckily we also have Vulcan as well, whose power, which, can I just say, did they just straight up commit murder here? Are those Stikbots okay? I don't see them in the next scene. Was there murder committed in a Anyways, Jasper gets the crystal because Vulcan's about to die, and he gets away with it. But luckily Vulcan's okay. Overall, I really like this episode. Like, a lot happened in it. We get better backstory on this new character, and another new character. And also, we just get, like, the history of Terrano and stuff, which is probably, like, my favorite part about the district, just all the history. And Callista's powers are really cool. Also, I like the dynamic between Vulcan and Callista, because we have an Ice Queen and a Fire King, all working... Wait. Why does that sound so familiar? But no, this episode also had really great effects, and yeah. Overall, just really good. Really like the different styles and stuff, and that new Jasper character. See, interesting. I wonder if he'll be more important later on. Dr. Nevermore, or just Nevermore. I mean, it's called Nevermore, but I like saying Dr. Nevermore just because that sounds better. Basically, Nevermore is a character that we basically never saw before in Zingtanica, and it's only now just given like an actual voice and full personality. So I was quite excited for this episode. And it did not disappoint. Basically, Nevermore is creating this slime monster. Well, not trying to create a slime monster, but doing experiments, because apparently Nevermore does experiments a lot, but absolutely fails so miserably. Because they created this slime monster, and it escaped. Are you serious? You're a doctor of your district, and you just let a slime monster escape like that? Which is kind of crazy. Which, by the way, this slime monster is absolutely incredible. The CGI on this thing is insane. But the slime monster attacks a cemetery. Which, I mean, makes sense because of the location. But a cemetery? Really? That's what you're gonna attack? Why not attack like a Walgreens or a Kmart or something? Why a cemetery? So Nevermore realizes that they messed up really badly. So they have to go ask someone for help. And who they ask for the help? They help Ghoul. Which you might be wondering, who is Ghoul? And that is a good question. Ghoul is basically a character that got impacted by Nevermore's experiments, and now looks like this. So, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Ghoul is not, like, super mad at Nevermore anymore. But, I guess forgiveness happens. But yeah, and every single part of their body's messed up, even their voice. They literally need a translator to talk because their vocal cords got messed up by Nevermore's experiments. Okay, how does this girl still have her license? Like, come on now, if you messed up this badly, how do you still have access to all these chemicals? But Nevermore convinces Ghoul to help her. And, oh yeah, I forgot to say that the slime monster is named the Sludge Walker. I didn't mention that because that's literally the episode of the title. So if you've seen it, you already know the name of the monster. But yeah, they go and fight the slime monster because they have to defeat it because it's kind of terrorizing everyone. But then Ghoul gets eaten. I'm sorry, what? A slime ate another slime. Interesting. But then Nevermore almost gives up because they think Ghoul's dead, but then it's revealed that Ghoul's not dead, and then they give a very motivational speech. I'm sorry, aren't you being consumed right now by a giant monster? Why are you giving a motivational speech? But they kind of play jokes on that because after giving the motivational speech, they're like, Okay, now help me! I'm dying! Please! So Nevermore has to think of something. And what does Nevermore do? Oh, they get their axe, their slime axe, and defeat the monster. And Ghoul's fine. So yeah, they defeat the monster, and then Ghoul and Nevermore decide to team up to make good experiments instead of terribly gone wrong experiments like they've done before. No, I think Nevermore should be put in jail. Like, I don't think they should be having access to all these chemicals. Hopefully they don't do any more bad because Ghoul's there. Yeah, I mean, this was a real... Whoa, wait a second. There's a post-credit scene? Yeah! In part 2 of this episode, there's actually a post-credit scene revealing some very interesting information. We see Jasper, you know, from the previous episode, and he talks about only needing one more crystal. Because after he got that crystal, he's putting in this weird spinny thing. I don't exactly know what it is going to do, but he only needs one more. And then it's revealed that Maximilian Stahl, you know, the mayor of Vanguarden, is betraying his own city because he was the one that initiated all those monsters to come out, and he's working with Jasper to basically just take over Zingtanica. And then all these other villains come out because they're like creating like a mass like cult-like thing, and they're trying to take over Zingtanica and just rule everything, which is absolutely crazy. And this was all just in like a 30-second post-credit scene. With that post-credit scene in mind, this was a really, really excellent episode. We get introduced to basically 2 new characters, almost basically. The location is really cool. It's very like darky and stuff. The slime monster was absolutely incredible. The threat of the slime monster originally I thought was going to be like a massive threat that would be threatening like the entire area, but it was kind of like a small threat. I mean, like, sure, it did eat Stikbots, but like it wasn't like a massive like city-wide threat. It was kind of a small one, which I really like. And the effects in this were absolutely incredible. And all the voice acting roles for like Nevermore and stuff were really great. It was really nice to finally hear their voice. And this episode was also really fun. Just fun and funny. And also, it was actually the longest Zingtanica episode I think we've had, clocking in around 12 minutes. Which is honestly really, really good. I really like longer episodes. So I'm glad we got these. Now we have Bolt. Now, Bolt's a bit of an interesting guy. In Season 1, he was kind of all over the place as that kind of like energetic guy have conflict with. But he was entertaining. So I was kind of surprised that he got his own episode out of everyone else. But it turns out he actually has a lot more backstory than most people give him credit for. Basically, he finds out that Stikbots have been missing from the library. Well, like, in the library thing. And it turns out he actually has a gang named the Norakami Gang, which is, well, basically both the leader of it. So it turns out he has his own gang that he just leads. Well, it's with 3 other Stikbots, so it's not a massive gang, but it's a good one. Also, it's in the sewers, which kind of reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So yeah, it's really, really cool. And basically, their plan is to sneak into the library as it's closing. Okay, can I just say, that's hilarious how it says, the library is now closing, and then it basically shuts off. Like, what if you're still inside? It's like, oh, it's closed? Oh, too bad. I don't really know exactly how they got in. But basically, they're in the library as it's closing because they're trying to figure out how these Stikbots are missing. And then they use a bomb in the library! Then they reveal this, like, passage and stuff, and this guy's an absolute nerd, reading all these books. It's kind of like a mysterious, thing that's happening, because Bolt doesn't realize anything. He's just being a nerd and reading his book! And then it's revealed that it's actually a giant monster. Oh my goodness, that is terrifying. And they're the one that's been terrorizing the library, and also supposedly has something to do with the missing Stikbots. But can I just say again, this is an absolutely terrifying monster. But then all of a sudden a wormhole gets created after Bolt basically just defeats the monster. And then this weird, strange thing happens. The light starts fading because he defeated the monster. But then Bolt kind of sees a map of Zingtanica. This was actually a map he was looking at earlier. But there's something strange about this map. He sees 3 giant monsters. I don't really know the names of the monsters, but it's like this eye thing, this giant thing, and this kind of like sea monster-like thing. They're absolutely terrifying, and he almost goes up to one. But then he kind of just gets whooshed away and teleporting, and they end up finding the missing Stikbots plus his original gang. He doesn't really know what the monsters are, what monsters he saw, because he saw them on the map earlier, but what could these monsters be? And that's kind of where the episode ends. Could these be the monsters that the crystals are activating that the villains are trying to do? Or could they just be general monsters? Because the monster in the library kind of matches the styles of the ones that we see in the Zingtanica map. Oh my goodness, that was such a great place to end season 2. Such a great just cliffhanger that's going to lead up to the next season. And overall the episode, really solid. I was a bit concerned about this one just because Bolt, and stuff. But it was really funny, and it had basically so much lore dropping in it because they're in the library. Haha. Get it. But yeah, no, honestly, really, really awesome episode. So, that was Zingtanica Season 2. What did I think about it? I thought it was really, really good. It made me kind of realize that the Explorer notes that they were teasing before Season 2 actually were basically just teasing what was going to happen in Season 2. Like, seriously, the free videos they made of the Explorer notes are the free locations we explored, and all the stuff they mentioned basically ended up happening in the show, which I think is kind of crazy. But yeah, no, the world building was really awesome. So much new, location areas were introduced, so much new characters, and overall just the story, about the monarchy and stuff, and about the library, and what's going to happen next. It makes it seem like that Zingtanica is under a massive, massive threat. Especially with those villains, I'm kind of concerned about those villains. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do to Zingtanica? And overall, just some awesome character-driven stories. I know I said in my Zingtanica 1 review that I felt like there could have been used more character-driven stories, but in this one, it was way, way better. Don't get me wrong, I really like the original Zingtanica, but there's a lot of missing with some character development, but this one had it all. And it's just a really awesome build up for Season 3. Oh yeah! Which reminds me! Zingtanica Season 2 was kind of supposed to be a follow-up for Off the Grid Nightmares Season 2 after Striker and Pixel ended up in Zingtanica. And why did I not mention that? Because it basically played no factor. They were in the background for 2 seconds, but besides that, they got no mention whatsoever. I don't know if that's a jab or anything that they expanded it to it, but I'm glad they didn't mention it because Zingtanica is its own thing. It doesn't have to follow Off the Grid. Even though Off the Grid's more popular, that doesn't matter. I want this to be its own thing. I guess the ending of Off the Grid Nightmare Season 2 was kind of pointless than even more pointless than it was before. But that's fine. So overall, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, you may say it's a bit too high, but I don't care. This was an absolutely amazing season of Stikbot. So yeah, really excited for more. And yeah, I'm Leopold, and bye.